way to sneak back in. I can't get rid of her. I'm just a prisoner like the wind. Oh, she got my heart right on my chest, making me believe she knows the best.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, legends of the highest regard, and welcome to Cooking on the Fly number 2, here within our world adventure in the little plane that could in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So tonight we're doing leg number 59 and leg number 60. Both flights are about an hour and a half or so in length, and they're basically going to take us from Montevideo here in Uruguay down to Mar De Plata and then onwards to Bahia, Blanca. So alongside this journey this evening, we will be cooking Argentinian Lumito, which is a Argentinian sandwich and sort of widely regarded as the most popular street food that you can get in Argentina. Now, I'm doing a slight play on the Lomito, and I'm sort of going for a Cordoban style, but the Lomito is so popular throughout Argentina itself. There is so many variations that I've sort of taken the best and the most popular ingredients and sort of combined them into one Lomito, which is very much a thing that they do over there. You know, it's not a set thing. You know, you sort of have a large pool of ingredients that you can select from, and you can put those in. It's still a Lomito. So, when I do start the cooking process, obviously I will increase the size of the webcam, because at the moment you can probably see very little. But I thought it was important that we obviously focus on the Microsoft Flight Simulator side of things before, you know, like when we're doing the flying thing is what I'm trying to say. Anyway. I will... Ooh, geez, chat's gone nuts already. This evening. So, Zach's Gaming Lab, if you're still around, mate, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here as always. Gowan says, congrats on 175. I hope to be back to fly. Gowan, mate, thank you very much for the congratulations there. Hopefully you are back to fly. You know, plenty of time this evening, so hopefully, yeah. Letter Rapier says he's looking forward to this one. Don't worry, Wes. I am too, mate. Welcome to the stream as well, by the way. Absolute pleasure to have you here. Bruden says, man, I am so glad I decided not to stay up all night. And good morning, pilots. Bruden, I'm also glad you didn't decide to stay up all night. It means you're nice and refreshed and raring to go. I guess. We'll go with that anyway. David Jacko says, g'day everyone. David Jacko, Mr. Burgerman, g'day to you. Hope you are doing well. Stu says, hi Bruden, hi Lettered Rapier, hi David Jacko, g'day all. Stu, mate, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here, as always. Who else? Calling Pigeon. Speaking of which, Calling Pigeon, absolute legendary stuff that he did with the PDF in the Dropbox and setting up little nav map and the connection software to allow people to see each other on little nav map as well as within the simulator multiplayer. I'll get to that in a moment. I've noticed that a few people have been having a couple of issues, so I'll just sort of show those people what it should look like and what they've got to look forward to, and others who may or may not have done it yet, what I'm talking about, basically. But I'm Calling Pigeon, mate, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here again. Thank you so much for doing all of that work in your spare time. I know you may say, oh, it was easy, but, you didn't have to do it, and the fact that you did, very appreciative of that. Bubba Von Broad says, evening everyone. Bubba, mate, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here. I hope you are doing well. I hope work has been kind to you. I know you've been on call this week. Black Evo, g'day. He can't, so he's one of the, I think it's Black Evo and David Jacko that are having issues with little nav map, not behaving for them and all that. But, Black Evo, mate, welcome to the stream. I hope your flight back from the US was, good as it can be, being on a plane for 14, 15 hours, whatever it is that it takes. Sean Dale says, smiley face and wave. Sean, mate, welcome to the stream. Absolute pleasure to have you here. Speaking of which, Sean, I'm going to need to, at some point over the next couple of days, I'll send you a message on Discord about Cooking on the Fly number 3, because Cooking on the Fly number 3 is probably going to be when we go across to the Falkland Islands. And I, as somebody in yourself who lived there for a while, I want to just pick your brain on foods that were, common over there, and sort of help me come up with an idea for that third Cooking on the Fly. So, you don't have to help, but, yeah. Blackadder says, g'day, as does Brett Plays. Welcome to the stream, both of you. I hope you are both doing well. Fozzie says he's about to touch down in LAX and then he's on his way. Mate, Fozzie, not a problem. I will see you when you get here. Rusks and bloody hell, Sean. Black Evo's got it sorted and working now. Fantastic. Alright, now I'm going to quickly jump across to a little nav map to show so, now, click that button. There we go. So as you can see, we're here on the ground, and on little nav map, I can see Tony, I can see Big Jack, I can see Black Evo, I can see Dan Random is flying around. So as you can see, it's really quite cool now that we've got this little connection device thing, and it means that whenever we fly, the Just Some Aussie Gamer little nav map group will always be at the top of the web page. So that may, assist in the performance of the channel in the long term, which is always something that's worth looking into for myself, and probably the rest of you as well, because as long as the community stays as fantastic and legendary as it currently is, I feel like growing it is only a good thing. Alright, so go back to the live screen. Alright, let's get this plane started and get it out to take-off time, so that we can then start some cooking. Now, I believe, let me know in the chat if you are cooking along this evening. I think the only person who's actually, or the only person I'm aware of who's cooking along with me is Wes Leaded Rapier. Now, I could be wrong, but it doesn't necessarily matter. Yeah, yes, Vruden, Shane sniped your chat and already flew us around the Falkland Islands. I know, but oh well. Shane's got 68,000 subscribers. I'm not going to stand here and tell him how to run his YouTube channel, Like, everybody's free to fly around the world. But, yes. He did, I guess you could say he did snipe my chat. Sean says, I'll ask mum and dad. No worries. That's all good. Speak of the devil, Shane Ozflight Simmer has joined the stream. Shane, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here. Oh, wow. 22 viewers. Holy shit. I better be on my game tonight. Otherwise, Sean, all the details are in the Discord, in the live and events. I posted a link to a Dropbox that Calling Pigeon did up for doing the connection and using the little online transmitter to make it connect, etc. It's not like a thing that you must have in this stream, but if it's something you'd like to look at in your spare time so that there's no pressure, feel free. Snipe chat. Don't worry, Shane, we're just winding you up, but sniping chat is like if somebody comes into somebody else's stream and then like steals their ideas and uses in their own. Which you didn't, because you didn't even know that I was considering flying to the Falkland Islands in a couple of weeks' time. So, but, you know, myself and Vruden, you know we like to wind you up, so we'll keep winding you up. How am I going to cook while flying? Look behind me, Zaki. Can you see the trestle tables and the barbecue? And we're ready to go. We've got a whole kitchen set up behind me. That's anyway, I'm getting distracted, and I should be starting an aircraft, but you guys in the chat are also interesting. It's whoops. All right, come on, Garmin, hurry up and initialize. Let's hit that. Let's give it some power. There we go. Make sure we are on GPS. Now, there's some absolutely fantastic weather around today, so I'm going to only go for about 4,000-ish feet. I don't want to be too high up. I want to enjoy the scenery. Make sure I turn that fuel pump off before I flood the motor, because it's not ideal. Get some flaps in. That on. Give us some lights. Take off the parking brake. Now, let's just... Oh, Vruden, I specifically decided not to use Track IR in this stream because I'm going to be doing a lot of getting up and going over the other side of the table and coming back and getting... And it would have been a case of continuously up, down, off, with the hat, on with the hat, off with the hat, on with the... May have been a bad decision because I'm so used to flying with Track IR now, but I guess that's my grave and I'm digging it, so... What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was checking little nav map to just have a look at the weather. So we have 30 degrees wind at 5 knots, which makes 09 or 01 the active runways. Actually, 01 is technically the active runway. However, 09 is a lot closer to where we're all parked. So I'll just go for a run. Oh no, it's actually not. Oh. Anyway, one of those two. We'll pick. Runway is our pickings. Wes, I believe in the top thing of icons, just make sure that you have Show Simulator AI, Multiplayer, and Online Client Aircraft Position and Data on Map. Make sure you have that highlighted. Alright. Let's grab my bearings. So, oh, I like the CJ4 there in the Orbit livery. That's cool. Alright. I need to be going for... basically where Black Evo is going. Everybody follow Black Evo. He knows where he's going. I know that's a weird sentence to say because usually you follow David Jacko because he knows where he's going. But it just shows AI. Interesting, Wes. I'm not exactly sure why that would be. Alright, let's taxi. So what we'll do is we'll taxi out, we'll take off, climb up to cruising altitude until we're on the flight plan, and then once we're on the flight plan and at cruising altitude, I will disappear for a couple of minutes. And when I reappear, I'll be all set up and ready with a bigger webcam view and all that of the scenario behind, and we can enjoy some cooking some basically Argentinian steak sandwich is what it is. So the Lomito we're cooking is a nice piece of toasted bread that then has some lettuce, some tomato, it's got some mayo, it's got chimichurri, it's got steak, it's got leg ham, it's got cheese. It's a vegan's paradise, really. I know, Zach, it's kind of mind-blowing. 24 people this early in the stream. I'm not sure that's ever happened. So shout out to all the legends who are currently watching. Speaking of which, it is Saturday evening, so some of us have already enjoyed one day of the weekend. I do hope your weekend is doing well, and going well, should I say, and you are doing well is the way that sentence should have been constructed. I know I can't really complain about mine. I've had some good fun, done a bit of work, which, you know, pays the bills, so I can't really complain. Oh, Shane has come in and he's gone bang. He's donated $5. Shane, every stream you come in, you give me some sort of donation. It does not go unnoticed, Shane. You're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. You are the reason that I decided to stream. You are the reason, mainly, that this channel has people who are directed here, and you know, I cannot thank you enough for all the support that you provide. So thank you, Shane. Massive, massive thanks. Now, did I miss before? I think I saw the other David, but his comment no longer seems to be there. So, if you are hanging around David Ross, g'day mate, welcome to the stream. I just can't find your comment anymore, which is why I forgot to say hi to you. I know, sounds like a piss poor excuse, and I guess it kind of is, because I should have just said something at the time, but anyway. Kangaroo says hello. G'day, Kangaroo, mate. Welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you along. And David, g'day. I see your comment this time, so welcome to the stream, mate. Pleasure to have you here. Alright, let's just have a quick look outside the aircraft. So everyone's basically on a runway or already in the air, so we'll just stop screwing around and start flying. Oh, Wes has got his chatbot watching along as well. So for those of you who do watch Leonard Rapier's streams as well, in his next stream he now has a chatbot. A bit like what Shane and myself have, so that should be pretty cool. Yeah, Zach, I wish that I was able to have somebody cook a Lomito for me whilst I flew along. That would be a dream. But unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, it's not unfortunately at all, because I do really enjoy these whole cooking on the fly things. It just takes a lot of behind the scenes preparation to make them happen. Like, as you can see, I've had to completely rearrange the shed behind me to produce a kitchen style setup. So as much as I would love to do these on a weekly basis, unfortunately it's more going to be a fortnightly or you know, every third week, possibly every month kind of. It kind of comes down to whenever we go to new countries. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to do one for Uruguay. That's part of the reason I also picked the Lomito, because the Lomito is very similar to popular street foods in Uruguay as well. So I figured it was a good happy medium to sort of celebrate both countries' amazing cuisines. Who is texting me? No one is texting me. It's just my notification in Gmail that Shane has paid me. About time, Shane. I was waiting for that. I'm waiting for my payslip now. Okay, Shane? Alright, look at that speed up. Yeah, that's exactly right, Wes. The last 24 hours of a stream, when you're setting up, there's quite a lot of things to do sometimes depending on what you're streaming. There we go, speed is good. Bring the flaps up. In a moment, we'll jump back onto little nav map and just see how it all looks. Yes, Zach. Brett says, so when is the next Euro Truck 2 stream? I've got subs asking and I referred them to your channel, Bryce. Brett, quite literally, because this week my best mate's cafe, one of the staff, had other things that they had to do and weren't able to work. I did an extra 20 hours of work this week, which means that I wasn't able to stream Euro Truck, I wasn't able to stream American Truck, and I haven't been able to edit any of my recorded videos, so there's been no video uploads. I'm still working on my second video for my chef channel. Time has very much been at a premium this week. And the good news is, I should be able to do one next week, and as Wes has just said, he's already doing one on Tuesday, so I might try and jump in with that stream. But yeah, my apologies there. This week was just insane, and the weeks that I do cooking on the fly, they're just going to be, it's just what it is. Unfortunately, there's going to be less videos and less streams when I do cooking on the fly. What is my plane doing? Where's my magenta line? There we go. Okay, now it's sorting its stuff out. I have no idea what my plane was up to then. Appreciate the understanding there, Brett, and everyone else who's understanding of it as well. Stop vibrating, phone. I don't know if the phone vibration is coming through the microphone, but if it is, I do apologise for that. Alright. Let's pull a little bit of power out of that engine so that we don't overdo it. There we go. Now, we'll jump back into little nav map to have a look at... So as you can see, we've got all the aircraft. We've got my little yellow one, then we've got Tony, we've got Big Jack, we've got Dan Random. If we zoom out a little bit, we've got Leaded Rapier, Calling Pigeon, Black Evo. Yeah, it's really quite cool actually. The fact that not only do I see you guys here, but I can see your actual position on the map as well. Alright, we are at our cruising altitude of 4,000 feet. I will wait for the aircraft to sort out its position on the magenta line, and then we'll get cooking. So anyone who is cooking along, please get yourself in your position, start to get yourself set up, etc. But absolutely, I like to think about the fact that when we arrived here in Montevideo a couple of days ago, there was thunderstorming and terribly putrid weather and all that, and now, beautiful sunshine all over the place, you know, stunning. Hey, Vruden in his helicopter. G'day, mates. I'm going to screenshot that. That's cool as shit. Alright, so it seems like the plane is all under control now. It's basically on the magenta line, so I'll be back in a moment. Alright, I'll appear on the other side of the desk in a moment here, folks. And I'm going to have to try and read the chat at long range as well. Right, that was not, what's the word I'm looking for? That was not delicate, going down on the floor to get in here. What can you do? Space constraints, you know? What can you do? Okay, so first things first, hand sanitizer, because I've just been on the ground and, you know, I really want to flavour my food with concrete, if possible. Alright. Yeah. I know. The things you have to do to fit into certain spaces, but I've done it. Okay, second thing I'm going to do is I've got my deep fryer over here. You can probably see just the outline of it. Now, you don't need a deep fryer, you can use an oven, you can pan fry, whatever if you're cooking along with the Argentinian Lumito. I just decided that for the fact that I'm in a sort of makeshift kitchen, the more equipment to make my life easier, the better. So, I'm going to switch my deep fryer on and hope that it doesn't cut the power because it uses a lot of power to first heat up the oil. So that's going to be interesting. Okay, we good. So far, we good. If you see everything go dark, sorry. I will come back though if it does happen. Okay, so before we actually do the Lomito, before we go turning the barbecue or anything on, I don't want to have that on for too long because it will significantly heat up the room, and it is also gas powered, so I may actually have to open that back door or the window that's behind the green screen because I don't want to asphyxiate myself with gas. Personally, it's just a preference of mine. You know, I don't really want you guys to have to witness death on stream as well. I feel, you know, especially when I'm cooking, that's not a good look, you know, for me as a chef. Oh, what happened? Oh, you know, he just he ate his food. Gone. You'll also have to let me know how the microphone is going because the microphone is a significantly further distance from me than it would be usually. But I think my Streamlabs is doing the job for me, and it's basically saying that you guys can hear me, no issues whatsoever. So, we need to make a mayo and we need to make a chimichurri. Now, I did say in the Discord that obviously you guys can buy these things pre-made from the shops. Because this video will enable people in the future to be able to cook a Lomito, I obviously want to detail everything that goes in and how to make everything from scratch, so that those who do want to do that don't have to go looking for other recipes on the internet to complete that side. So I'm going to take it a step further with my homemade mayo. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic because I'm a garlic fiend and that shit's good for you anyway. So it's actually going to be an aioli, but we'll just call it garlic mayo. Alright. So I need to grab a bowl. Now for this, because you're just making because you're just making enough mayo for, you know, 1 or 2 or however many sandwiches you're making, you don't actually need a huge amount of mayo. Just, you know, so we're not going to go too crazy. I've only got a small amount of Dijon, a small amount of vinegar, you know. Just enough, maybe let's say 100, 150 grams is sort of what I'm going to do. Yeah. So, got my olive oil, got white wine vinegar. So in the situation, and this just literally to create a bit of sharpness and tang in my mayo / aioli, you can use anything that creates sharpness and tang. White wine vinegar, red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, lemon juice, lime juice, anything that is a acidic product will give you your desired result. Got Dijon, a little bit of minced garlic, just the cheap stuff is completely fine for mayonnaise, and then here, salt, pepper. Now, got a whisk. This will be your best friend. Now, in the scenario that I would be making more mayo, I would use a machine. Because I'm making such a small amount, I'm not so concerned. So, basically, into this bowl, I want to put, there we go, that was more difficult than I expected it to be. I want to put teaspoon, a little bit, and again, this is to your decision, based on your taste buds. I'm putting a teaspoon and a half of Dijon mustard. If you do not like the intense flavour of Dijon mustard, put back a little bit. And then into that as well, just a small dash of vinegar or whatever acid you are using. You do not need a lot. At this point as well, I'm going to add my garlic. And I'm going to do about, well, this jar's only got a certain amount left in it, so I'm just going to use that up. But it's about 2 teaspoons of garlic, or thereabouts. And then I want to put a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt in there, and then I want to put 1 egg. We may need to add a second one. A little bit of pepper. I like my pepper. I like a good pepper kick. So I've, put a little bit more. Again, adjust to your taste. Again, with the salt, I'm going to do based on my taste buds. So it's probably going to be what some people would consider quite salty. And then you've got people who have been in kitchens before, or currently in kitchens, like Fozzie, like Jacko, or really skilled home cooks like Black Evo, who probably won't find this salty because they've been sort of indoctrinated into the salt world, I guess. Call it the salt world. The names I come up with sometimes, they concern me about what goes on in my head. So I'm going to start, as I said, with just 1 egg, and we can add. Now this is the awesome thing about mayos. If you're finding the mayo is not doing what you need it to do, add things. But you can't take things out. So if you put too much in at the start, what are you going to do? You're going to have to make a huge batch to try and string it out, and then you're going to be like, well, I've got, 2 kilos of mayo. What the fuck do I do with this? So we try to avoid doing that because we don't want food waste as well. Alright. Come on, egg. Behave for me on stream, egg. There we go. So I've got some beautiful free-range eggs that are freaking massive. They're like, basically this pack is 10 eggs, and the pack is nearly a kilo for 10 eggs. So basically the egg's nearly 100 grams per egg. That's the other reason I'm only using 1 egg. If you are using normal size eggs, you may need 2. Alright, and now I just want to whisk all that together because your ingredients that are going to help bind this with the oil are of course your egg and your Dijon, because they are emulsification ingredients. Okay, so I don't know how good this is going to be visibly, but basically you can see I've got a mixture that is a little bit foamy, that looks a little bit like a beaten egg, but you can also tell it's not just beaten egg. Now, this is the time-consuming part, because especially at the start, you do not want to add too much oil too quickly, or you will split your mayo. So, excuse me, I'm going to concentrate quite heavily for this bit. Alright, I need to put something under that bowl to stop it from spinning around, because it isn't Kylie Minogue and we are not spinning around. Okay, so that is looking mayo-ish. I just want to taste it to make sure that the flavour is right, that the texture is what we're looking for, etc. It is a little bit runnier than your conventional mayo. It is in no ways, by no means split. It just means that it doesn't have the additives and bits and pieces that you may find in a mayo from the shops. Now, you can obviously add more Dijon, more egg, more oil, take it further and further and further, make it bigger and bigger and bigger, make it thicker and thicker and thicker. I could do that here right now. We'd be here for the next hour whilst I try and create the same consistency. As long as it tastes like a mayo, that's all I'm really looking for. And it does. That's really damn good, actually. Not to blow my own trumpet, but it's delicious. So that will be a good spread with our sandwich. Okay, so that first part is done. Now we're going to make the chimichurri. So the chimichurri, think of it as a spicy, parsley-based pesto. That's probably the best way that I can simplify it for those who are not, it's basically South American pesto. So into a mildly bigger bowl, and this is simply because I know that I will use the chimichurri in days coming, whether I put it on my, toast in the morning when I put the smashed avocado and the eggs or whatever, I will use it. The mayo, I already have really good mayo that I get from suppliers at work when I want it. Is that lazy? Yes, it is. Do I want to be making mayo every 2 or 3 days at home because I'm using fresh eggs? Not really. Every time I go to use a mayo aioli, I don't want to be sitting there, I just want to take it out straight on the bread or whatever I'm making, dip the chips straight in, etc, etc. So, I'm going to take this parsley. Now, you probably don't need all the parsley, but simply because I am going to use this on future meals, I will do the whole parsley. Now, in a perfect world, which we in no way, shape or form live in, you would go through and delicately pick off each and every leaf. I'm not going to. I'm just going to run my fingers along, and if a little bit of stem comes with the leaf, well, it does, Now, you could do this in a mortar and pestle, you can do this in a processor, a blender, whatever. I'm going to keep it really simple here so that those who don't have a huge access to the amount of equipment can just see that you can just do it on your chopping board. I'll move those out of the way. That's basically spoiling the meal. Now I'm talking about food, definitely not me. So you want to pick your parsley leaves. Obviously there's no need to be seriously anal about it. Bang. Shout out to Woolworths for the pretty shitty parsley. Probably has helped that it's sat in my fridge now for the day. Now, when you do go picking parsley leaves, if you're making anything that requires that, do not throw away your stalks. If you make stock or a soup or a broth or whatever, parsley stalks, absolutely phenomenal. I just realised I'm doing this on a red chopping board as well. So I'm going to just pretend that I didn't do that and move it across to the correct chopping board, because I'm going to be doing the steak on that later. And although that's not an issue now, because my chopping boards are always thoroughly cleaned and all that, It's a bad habit to get into, so ladies and gentlemen, don't do what I just did. Alright, so again, because of size constraints and doing things at home, etc., I'm going to have to do this parsley bit by bit. And I may just get lazy and go, fuck it, we're just going to do this amount of parsley and I'll just do some more in my own time. So make sure that you do have a sharp knife that is of a decent size, because you want to be rocking back and forth across the parsley. So I'm just going to make sure by running it a few times like that. And then I'm going to just wipe off the edge, but from the opposite end so I don't slice my hand open, just in case there was any metal that came off during the transfer, and you don't want to then put that into your food so that when you're eating the chimichurri later go, this tastes really metallic, why? Why is that? Like, yeah. And now, on my very low table that requires me to bend down significantly more than what is considered comfortable, I'm going to slice up my parsley. So, how chunky or non-chunky you want this is your personal preference. Traditionally, chimichurri is not the most chunky thing, but I obviously want to, as I said before, make it as simple as possible for those who may not have the ability to, have a food processor or have a blender or whatever, and they'll still be able to, well, they don't own a water vessel, and they'll still be able to see that they are able to produce something that is very similar to what one would consider chimichurri. Bowl, stop kicking the table in the process. Feet are way too big. Shout out to those who share my pain of size 12 or 13 in shoes. You know what they say about big feet though. I'll let the imagination carry you on that one. Black Evo providing some tips is that a sharp knife is a safe knife. Yes, because with a sharp knife you're never going to slip when you're cutting something. And when you slip and you're cutting something, it usually results in you cutting you. And you'll find as well, if you have a sharp knife and you do cut yourself, it won't hurt as much. It will heal significantly quicker because the cut you have made is clean and easily, it heals much more easily. If you cut yourself by slipping with a blunt knife, it's going to leave a very unclean cut. It's going to take your body a lot longer to heal, and because it's an unclean cut, it's gonna hurt. The plane's right in front of me. It's fine. Boys. Yeah, what Garland said, a sharp knife takes the finger off clean so it's easier to sew back on. My plane seems to be going in the correct direction. People are in front of me. Once I've done the rest of this parsley, I'll wander back over there and just have a look and see that everything's all good. But I think we're fine. Got to remember that I am using the DA40 mod, which means it doesn't always follow the magenta line exactly. Okay, cool. But for those, if anybody is concerned about my aircraft is literally right in front of me right there. I can almost touch the screen if I lean forward. So I can see if my plane does anything stupid. So it turns out this bunch of parsley is bloody huge. So I am going to do like what I said. I'm probably only going to use about half of it. And that means that I've got fresh parsley available in my fridge for other things. Maybe not chimichurri. Maybe I want to turn it into a pesto and make pasta. Right. Alright. God, I'm going to have a bad back by the end of this. Now, again, to make life easier with this chimichurri with the garlic, I'm just going to use that jar of garlic that I've got. I do have fresh garlic in my fridge, and I do prefer to use fresh garlic, but I do, obviously, as I said a couple of times, I want to make it very, very clear that with basic ingredients and basic equipment, you can still achieve what people you see on TV and all that can achieve. Now, I think that's very important because I feel like sometimes TV chefs scare the common person away from potentially trying things because they see them, you know, use these fancy stand mixers and all that sort of stuff. You don't need that. You don't. It makes your life a lot easier, but you don't need it. There's parsley everywhere now in this place, absolutely everywhere. But I need a bigger chopping board. That's okay, I know that I have one, so I'll have one for the next cooking on the fly. Okay, pop the parsley back over here. Now, to that, we want to add some oregano, or oregano, depending on where you're, from, basically. Now, this is a warm and sharp oregano, so basically it's got a little bit of spice. I like spice. If you don't like spice, buy basic oregano. And basically I'm going to do a similar thing to what I just did to the parsley with the oregano. I'm going to run the knife through it, looking to achieve a similar texture. And straight into the parsley. Now this is a hell of a lot of chimichurri. I'll tell you right now, there is a lot of green leaf in that bowl. Like, I can pick up fistfuls of it, and I'm only picking up like a quarter of it. So, to give you an idea of what sort of yield you're going to achieve, the answer is a lot. Now, I'm going to finish off that jar of garlic that we had. Whatever's left in here, and then I'll let you know what it is so that you can use that measurement. Now obviously, if you are using tin garlic or jar garlic, especially the cheap shit like I've got here, which is part of the reason why I'm trying to get rid of it, and things where you don't necessarily need to use the best of the best quality because there's so much flavour going on that you can sort of cut a few corners. That sounds really bad, but you can, especially as a home cook. So that was about a tablespoon of garlic. That's a lot of garlic. I like garlic. We've been through this before. Pop that in the bin. Now, into that, you want to add some chili. You need to pick based on your chili tolerance. I've got habaneros, and I'm probably going to add a whole habanero to this. If you don't like chili, I don't recommend habaneros. I recommend the basic red, long, big chilies that you get from the shops. And if you really don't like spice, remove the seeds. I'm going to top and tail this habanero, and then I'm going to halve it. So the top, I'm not going to hold on to. The tail, I am. I'm going to be able to chop that up. I just needed to make a flat object to slice into, if that makes sense. And then any old way, you just want to slice up your chili. Now, once you have done this slicing of the chili, do not touch your eyes, do not touch your face, do not play with your penis. It will be terrible. A very terrible situation. And then once you've got your chili into some sort of smaller form, you can do the same thing like what we did. Holy shit, that is strong chili. Going straight into my face. You can do the same thing like what you did to the parsley, to the oregano, etc. Dice it up nice and fine. With the chili, if you can, try to take it to the point where it's almost starting to become a paste on your chopping board, because you don't want to get, especially if you're using a potted chili like a habanero, like a scorpion, like a, if you're a real crazy person, Carolina Reaper kind of thing. You don't want to get a big mouthful. So now, I chose habanero for two reasons. A, as I said before, I like chili, I like spice. I can handle a lot of spice. I swear I wasn't born Australian sometimes with my ability to handle chili. But it's also, I like the flavour that habanero has. It's a really nice flavour if you can handle the heat. Now, into that, I want to add a little bit of pepper, I want to add a little bit of salt. Now, again, we come to the point where you add an acid. I'm going to just use the white wine vinegar that I had out here before for the mayo. Lemon juice, lime juice, whatever acid you have access to. You just want to add a little bit to cut through. You'll see what I mean by a little bit in a second. It will literally just be a dash, like so. And then to that, you want to take your oil, whatever it is, olive, vegetable, rice bran, doesn't matter, it's an oil. I'm using olive oil, it's Spanish, which I guess makes sense since we are cooking in Argentina here. And then you just want to pour that in. This part you have to do by eye. This is all based on how much of the other ingredients you add. You literally want to take a spoon and then mix it together. Now, of course, if you're using a food processor or a blender or a mortar and pestle, this part is easy. If you're doing it the way that I'm showing that you can do it, you're just literally going to be adding oil, mixing, adding oil, mixing, and you want to do that until you have almost like a pesto style sauce consistency going on. That's probably the best way I can explain it. You may be surprised by how much oil that needs to be added. Now again, you're not going to get the finest, most amazing consistency chimichurri by doing it this way, but you're going to achieve the same flavour by doing it this way. And And that's one thing that, as I said before, I think is really important. People need to know that you can do these things and achieve a similar flavour without the equipment. Alright, so this is looking pesto-ish in its consistency. And it's sounding a little bit like the sound that it makes when you're having sex, you know, and then clack, 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 etc. My sound effects with my mouth are really, really bad and do not in any way encapsulate or demonstrate what I was trying to make my point. But anyway, and then we'll just do a quick taste test. That's delicious. And it's got a good heat. Really nice heat. Coats and slowly elevates. That will be quite phenomenal when you combine the steak. In fact, almost feel like I want to put the second chili in there. Because it is by my taste buds, it is very mild chili. It just grows, and it grows in the back of the throat. But for the sake of this demonstration, I won't go too crazy, because I do want to be able to speak for the rest of the stream. So I'll leave that as it is for this point. Right, so those things are all done. That's your chimichurri, that's your mayo / aioli / whatever you want to use. So I'm just going to wipe the excess parsley and chili and oregano off of my chopping boards. This chopping board that had the chili on it, I'm actually going to use sanitizer spray to try and take away some of the chili harshness that will have penetrated it. Because if I do any other items on this chopping board without doing that, basically inhaling sanitizer right now. But if I do anything else on this chopping board without doing that, stop inhaling the freaking sanitizer, right? We're going to result in a situation where everything I put on that chopping board, if I didn't do this, would be extremely spicy. Especially seeing as I was crushing seeds and stuff under my chef's knife. And there we go, nice and clean. That is dead, so that can go in the bin. Okay, so now bread. I've chosen a massive white ciabatta because I want to have some leftovers, and I promised the missus that I would give her some leftovers. Like Evo says, will the acid cut down the chili heat or enhance it? I believe it enhances it. But I guess it, like, with a lot of things when it comes to food, there is certainly rules when it comes to food. Certain things enhance flavours, certain things cut through flavours, etc. I get the feeling that chimichurri, because it's just very fresh ingredients, that the vinegar helps to enhance the flavour and therefore enhances the chili. However, I'm sure if you use a different oil or a different acid or a different chili, it may have a completely different effect. So there's my massive ciabatta. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bread knife and I'm going to go straight down the middle lengthways so that I end up with two halves the same. Now it's important when cutting bread to let the knife do the work and don't force it. The reason a bread knife is serrated is because you are meant to move it back and forth, back and forth. If you hack at it, you're going to completely destroy your bread. So, here we go. Two nice pieces of ciabatta. Done. So that will be, we will toast that on the barbecue when it comes time. Now, next thing, the meat, or Lomito. I don't actually know if that's what that means in Spanish Argentinian, but I'm just going to roll it. So I've got 2 180 gram Scotch fillets. I splurged a bit on my steak. I like my steak. Now, when picking steak, you want to pick something that is local, if possible. Now, unfortunately, when I went to go to the butcher, they're already closed. So I was like, for fuck's sake. So I had to go with the next best option, which is from the local meat area at the shops that we have. Now, as you can see, I don't know if, but Scotch fillet, plenty of marbling. And I'll pull the other one out. Now I got 2 of these just because they were 180 grams, also because they were beautifully marbled, also because they were as I said, 180 grams, and because they were a good price. And there's the other one, really decent marbling in it as well. Now, here's a bit of a wipe of the meat blood. Yes, ciabatta is supposed to have the air pockets in it. Yeah, okay, so Drew, you've said there, start the steak resting at room temperature. I pulled this steak out of the fridge when I got home from work about 9:45. So it has been sitting at room temperature for almost 2 hours. You don't want to leave it at room temperature any longer than that, but if you're going to cook it, 90 minutes, 2 hours is probably a good time to allow it to come up to the temperature. Now, the temperature in this room is not what I'd call warm, so it's probably okay for a little bit longer because it's only about 10 degrees in here. Now, I was originally going to halve these. However, looking at them, I feel like maybe meat malleting them is probably because you want to get something that cooks relatively quickly and that fills the sandwich. And as you can see, we've got quite a big sandwich and small pieces of meat. So I might actually sanitize my hands here. Might be first, and grab the sanitizer. I might actually go grab my meat mallet. If you don't have a meat mallet, because of I think I detailed in the previous cooking video, demonstration, whatever you want to call it, use a rolling pin, something like that. Like, I don't even know if I know where to find my bloody meat mallet now that I think about it. I don't really want to, you know what, never mind, I'm just going to halve it. Because I don't really want to be on this trestle table going bang, bang, because that's going to, it's going to be extremely loud through the microphone, because this thing is not what I would call soundproof. Like when I was chopping that parsley and all that before, I could have done it a hell of a lot faster, but it would have been so loud that it wasn't working. So I am just going to, as best as I can, this is why a sharp knife is important, go down the middle of this Scotch. Now you're not going to, doing it this way, you're not going to end up with perfect pieces, but you are going to end up with pieces that fit in your sandwich much better. So if you do have access to a meat mallet and a bench that isn't going to wake up half of your suburb when you start meat malleting, I highly recommend doing it that way. And there we go. Okay, so Wes, fruit and bang it daddy. Fucking Jesus. So, Wes, I know that you're cooking along. Where are you at this point, mate? Let me know. I also need to keep an eye on how far are we from the Mar De Plata airport? If somebody could let me know, because I can't actually reach. Wes cheated and bought steakettes. That is not cheating. I made it very, very clear when I was presenting the recipe that please shop to your budget, your abilities, your taste preferences, any allergies. You're still going to have a fantastic experience. So, oh, Wes is just about finished cooking. What? Okay, I better get a move on. So I'm going to season these steaks, both sides, with salt and pepper. If you like more than that on your steaks, I just don't have any garlic powder or onion powder right now, and I personally think that I've already added enough onion, well, not onion, but enough garlic at this point. Oh, that's why. You'll understand why I'm sighing in a second. I just realised that I forgot to add an ingredient to the fucking chimichurri. As soon as I said, oh, your onion and garlic, and I've added enough onion, I was like, oh, hang on, I haven't even done the fucking onion. So, go me. Cheers to me knowing my own recipes really well. So we'll flip that over. And we'll season the other side, and then we'll move back over to that chopping board, and I'll spice up that onion. Fuck's sake. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because it gives the flavour, it gives time for the flavour to penetrate the steaks. Now, because I've now used that knife on the steaks, I'm going to take my other knife, which is my Japanese folded steel wooden handle thingy-jiggy. The barbecue is not hot yet, David. And hey to Clive. How you going, Clive, mate? Welcome to the stream. Is the barbecue? Yeah, no, the barbecue is not yet hot. So, I'm now going to turn the barbecue on. I may obviously find myself needing to open up something here once I do that. That's why I was trying to put it off as long as possible. Because the weather out there is not right. No. Other than myself. I heard gas when I did that, and I was like, oh no, what? There we go. And close the lid. So, 2 seconds. Ta-da! Yeah, it's just because I have to get up on that bloody table behind the and open the window. But that's much better. It doesn't feel like I'm. I won't actually. You know what? I'm going to say that on stream. That would have been highly inappropriate. So, but it was going to be something about being guest. So I don't want to go down that path. That's something. That's a joke designed for private time. Alright, let's do that onion that I forgot about before for the chimichurri, eh? What a dickhead! Right, so I'm going to top my onion. I'm going to leave the bottom on. I'm going to halve it. Now, you're only going to need probably half the red onion for this. The other half you can save for another day. Then I'm going to peel my skin off of it. So, then, I don't have COVID, I promise. Just going to, now, you basically want to end up with really fine pieces of onion. You can do this in any way that works for you. I'm just going to do it the way that I know, and that is to cut down along the onion, very small lengths, but not all the way through, so that you basically have a fan style situation. I don't know if you can see that, but it's still being held together by the end. And then I'm going to go down the middle, and then I'm just going to slice it up, and you end up with pretty small pieces. And even if it's not quite as small as what you're looking for, it makes it a lot easier at this point to run the knife across it a few times, and it only takes a short amount of time to get to the size that you want. If you're not confident, just, you know, slice your onion up into half moons, and then run the knife along it. Oh yeah, that's a strong onion. Holy shit! By the way, chefs are not immune to onions. The only reason you don't see us crying in kitchens is because the chefs deliberately decide to cut onions near the massive extractor fans, and those extractor fans suck up the onion fumes before they get to us. Just a, you know, little heads up. We are certainly not immune. And then you want to take your nice finely diced onion, and pop it in your chimichurri. Now, the amount of chimichurri I made, half an onion is probably a little bit on the extreme side, but that's okay. You also want to make sure that you do wipe down your board if you plan on using it for anything else after the onion. However, usually you would have done the onion and then the chili, if you're not an idiot and actually remembered your own recipe. There we go. Pretend that never happened. Excuse me whilst I just get rid of some of the onion fumes, because goddamn that was a powerful onion. Yeah, exactly, Garwin. If you put your onions in the freezer or you store them in the fridge for a prolonged period of time, it stops the potency of the fumes. It's just because I bought the onion yesterday, it hasn't had enough time in the fridge, and I didn't put it in the freezer to avoid that occurring. Alright, so that's done, that's done, that's done, bread's done. So the only other things left to do now is to basically do the items that are involved with constructing the sandwich. So, I'm going to come over the other side of the table, have a look at my aircraft, make sure everything's all good, run through the chat, see if there was any questions that I missed, and then, I've got the barbecue on a really low heat, and I just want to slowly bring it to temperature so that I have an even cooking surface all the way across. Then we'll come back, we'll do some cooking and we'll do some constructing, and we'll end up with a fantastic meal. This is actually my dinner, even though it is 3 minutes past midnight. Chef-like. Alright, let's see if I can actually do this a little bit more smart and just come around here instead of going under the fucking table. Oh, look at that. Alright. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, there you go. That's a good tip there, Fozzie, as well. Sean Dale says, great explaining things for all skill levels. It's brilliant. I am trying my absolute best, and I am trying to obviously look over at the chat, and I will now that I have done all my chopping and preparation style things. I will be able to look at the chat more for the next part of this. So, did I miss anyone's question? For anyone who's asking questions about, are you landing? Absolutely. That's why I put airports in my flight planner. Do you want to land? Land. Speaking of which, this scenery is quite something. Bloody amazing, Argentina. So let me just have a look at my. Yeah, I'm on the magenta line. Look at that. Perfect. Cool. What is the meaning of life? On the green screen. Thank you. Thank you very much. I bought it. That's what I use when I truck sim and all that. I just wish I could make it work with Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it and the sim is just too much for my GPU to handle, because that utilizes a lot of GPU power actually, because it's continuously making the computer forget about the backgrounds. Basically, it's just continuously saying, this is not here, this is not here. And of course that uses a lot of GPU. Now, I feel like I should have a sip of water. I also feel like now is the time to get my chips out of the freezer. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh, water is so fucking underrated sometimes. Alright. That's my chips. I just bought beer batter steak cut chips. I could have quite easily taken potatoes, peeled them, sliced them up, boiled them, cooled them, fried them. I don't have the time or the equipment in here for that. Speaking of which, it's actually starting to get quite smoky in here from the barbecue, so I'm just going to go and open that back door up a bit as well. When we start cooking, it's going to get even smokier. Alright, there we go. So, I don't appear to have missed anyone's questions. I scrolled up quite a bit and I couldn't see anything. If I have missed any questions, as I said, I will be more focused now on the chat. because I'm doing less things with knives and stuff. So smoke means good stuff, smoking food. Yes, but smoke is not good for me. And if I'm in an enclosed room with smoke, remember what we talked about at the start of the stream where you don't really want to see somebody cark it on stream? Well, I'm trying to avoid that if possible. And smoke inhalation would not be a very nice way to go. Now, oh yeah, that's smoky. She needs a bit of a brush down. Now it's not fully at the temperature that I want it to be at yet, so I'm going to do this and I'm going to crank it to the maximum and close the lid again for a sec whilst I open up my cheese and ham and all those bits and pieces. There we go, crank that. Okay. Drew says you're doing a great job. Thank you very much, Drew. Much appreciated. Turn the hoods on. I wish this room had hoods. My hoods is that back door and the window behind the green screen. Ruben says my email is on YouTube. Okay? I see now, I saw the rest of the conversation. Never mind, all under control. Okay, move that out of the way. So, I actually lied, I haven't finished with knives. That knife has had meat on it, don't use that knife. Now, I don't care about the fact that I'm going to get a bit of an oniony flavour in my tomato, but I just remembered I need to slice up the tomato as well. How do you know that your knife's sharp? When you can literally put it at the front of the tomato and drag it back and it just goes straight through. Boom. There's my slices of tomato. Anything else that I missed? Oh yes, I said I was going to open my cheese and ham. Now I've got premium double smoked leg ham. Because why not? Smoke, meat, charcoal. Yum yum. Ooh, that looks like a really decent ham. Yeah, exactly. Let the weight of the knife do the work. Let the sharpness of the blade carry it through. If you have a properly sharp knife, you just literally the momentum of the knife moving in the way it's meant to should do most things, except for, I don't know, pumpkin and stuff like that, where you do actually have to, you know. Sean Dale, you're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you so much for the donation. Really, really appreciate it. Is that Oz Flight Simmer that's flying there behind me doing flips and stuff? Probably is. That's cheese. Now I've got lactose-free cheese for reasons that we've previously discussed. I would have loved to have used like a South American style cheese. Unfortunately, they don't seem to make that lactose-free, which is a shame. And the other thing that I have, because I only have a griddle-style barbecue, I have a very small fry pan that I'm going to put on the barbecue and use the barbecue as my burner, and that's going to be for my eggs. Now, those who are cooking at home are going to have a kitchen with a stove top and stuff like that. That would require me going inside. I don't think my housemate who's working tomorrow night will appreciate me yelling at a microphone from another room, detailing how I'm doing this. So, it's not you, Shane? Oh, that's alright. I think it might have been Icarus, in which case, as long as it's somebody who's part of this amazing community, sweet. If it's some weirdo, then we start asking questions. That was smoky. Drop the temperature back a little bit from this to sort of about halfway, and I'm going to leave it open now so that it can start to not smoke me out basically in the face. So I'm now going to take my ciabatta bread, and I'm going to put it on the grill, and I'm going to try not to burn it. Nice sizzle when I put that down, which is a good thing. Once that bread comes off and we put the steaks on, that is the time I'm also going to put my chips down in the fryer. The fryer is still hot. Fantastic. That means we haven't tripped any power. Good news. Direction, bread to get nice char marks on it. And I'll try and show you once I've done it so that you can, that's alright Icarus, all good. As I said, if it's somebody like yourself, I love it. Do it more. It's just when we get randoms who are, you know, clearly doing it to try and get their 10 seconds of fame on the internet. But, yeah. I know that sounds messed up, but if I know who you are and I know that you're not here to troll me and the rest of the community, I'm quite happy to have you guys fly near me, etc. Okay. That is what we are looking for with the bread. So, see how there's some nice char marks all across it, nicely toasted. Oh, Sean Dale, legend. Another donation from you. I don't know what to say. Coming from somebody like yourself who has, you know, as everybody knows if they watch the mental health stream, somebody who's been through a lot in life, the fact that you still, you know, you're going out of the way and you make it means a lot. It means a lot. Not that it doesn't mean a lot when it comes from the rest of you, but it's just sort of this air of amazement, I guess, from my perspective, that somebody who's been through so much can still be so selfless.
For $5 in like earlier this week, why each show 363?
Oh, probably because my PayPal for some reason is set to US dollars and I can't figure out how to change it. So it automatically thinks that you're donating less than what you actually are. So if it's whatever it says, Streamlabs doesn't take any cuts or anything like that. Whatever it says, ignore it. I'm trying to fix that so it shows up correctly, but I just can't figure out how to do it right now. Alright, so bread is done. Take mayo. So the mayo has thickened up as it sat there, which is exactly what we wanted. And you want to spread your mayo or aioli, whatever you've decided to. Spread that on the bread. And then, once I've done that, we'll get the steaks on, because I think the BBQ is in a position where it's ready. Now, don't be scared to be generous with your mayo sauce. That's part of the reason why we toast the bread, so that it doesn't then make it soggy. Alright, get these steaks on. Oh, that sound. That sound. I don't know if it's coming through the microphone, but that is such a nice sound. Alright, so whilst that does that, we're going to get some chips into the fryer. I'm only going to cook enough chips now for, actually no, I'll not do it for the whole, I was going to say for half, because I'm doing the other half to the missus, which is a lot of bread. But no, I'll cook enough for the whole sandwich. So I'm going to take a handful of chips and a little bit. It's another, 3 or 4. And I'm going to stick that down into the deep fryer. Then I'm going to take my lettuce. I put I put iceberg in my recipe, but my personal preference is a nice leafy green mix, because you get a bit of sweetness, you get a bit of bitterness from like mescal and the rocket and all that. It's a really nice, oven chips are a lot healthier, Sean, but I mean, when you're doing bread with ham and cheese and steak and egg and all that, are you really looking at health? But absolutely, feel free to oven your chips. I just don't have an oven out here as well. That's another reason that led me to the deep fryer. So that's done that. Then I want to layer my tomato. And once you've layered the tomato, personal preference on this one, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt on the tomato, because salt and pepper and tomato are a match made in heaven. I'm also going to get my pan onto the barbecue as well. Now that that's on the barbecue, and if you're doing it this way, do not then go and try and grab the handle without some sort of tea towel. You're going to have a bad time, because that's going to heat up the whole thing. Into that, you're going to add some oil. And I'm just going to let that heat up, and then we'll cook our eggs in that. Now let's have a look at the chips. Looking good, looking good. Oh, my phone's letting me know that Brett Plays has just posted a video. Tony Barrow, legend. First the bloke creates a server for us for Bean, and then he goes and donates me money. There's not much else I can say about the bloke except that he's a complete legend, and yeah, like I can't thank him enough. I cannot thank him enough. Do one good thing a day and it will add up. I personally think I do enough, if we're talking about food, I personally think I do enough good things. I make sure I eat my five veggies, 2 fruits, and that I gym 3 to 4 times a week. It may not look like that, but trust me. now I'm going to crack my eggs. I'm going to do 2 eggs. The chips are coming along nicely. Dad came back with the Falkland Islands. So what do you mean, Sean? Like information about the Falkland Islands? Because I know you said you were going to ask your parents. Right, so steak is almost done, so we'll pull it off to rest in a sec. I'm just going to season the eggs. How close are we getting to the first airport? I feel like we must be getting pretty close. I don't want to, leave it too long kind of thing. The food from Falkland Islands, they love oysters, fish, and fish. Okay, I can definitely do something with fish, 100%, and oysters. Those chips are so crispy. Alright, so I didn't get myself a plate to rest the steaks on, so I'm just going to get the biggest bowl I can and rest them. $11 hey? So for me, like 15, because I'm always slower than you guys. Okay, so I've got like a little bit of time here, not much. So I'm now moving that fry pan with the eggs into the middle of the barbecue. I'm closing the lid, and I'm cranking the heat, because it isn't a stove top, it's not going to be the most effective thing. Those chips are almost where we want them. So we're going to, the next part we're going to do is we're going to put the steak down, and then onto the steak we're going to put the chimichurri, and then ham, cheese, chips, or put the cheese on top of the chips if you would like the chips to sort of melt the cheese. Oh, Black Adder, thank you so much, mate. That's a massive donation. All of these donations that are coming tonight, I will utilise to pay for the ingredients for Cooking on the Fly 3, which we will do actually quite soon, because we're only a couple of legs away from actually going to the Falkland Islands. So, and now that I know that I need to do something that's based around fish or oysters, and that could get quite expensive, this money is going to go straight into that. So thank you very much for that. And Black Adder, you're always such a big supporter of this channel, and I absolutely love the fact that you're doing the legs that you missed in your own time. I think that's phenomenal. I can't quite comprehend the fact that people are enjoying these fights so much that they actually are trying to do the ones that they've missed in their spare time. That's bloody amazing, is what it is. Alright, bring the chips up. Let the oil drain off a bit, then I'm going to pull them out, put them in a bowl, a bit of salt, because obviously everything needs to be seasoned. how you know that the chips are crispy, when you put them in a bowl and they go ting, 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 ting. But thank you very much, Tim, for your donation. It means a lot. Everybody's donations tonight means a lot. It just means that I fully understand that you guys are in fact loving this, and that I should just do it as much as I possibly can. And I'm definitely going to. Will try to, within reason of us visiting countries, because obviously bigger countries, sometimes the gap will be more, but I will be trying to do it on a fortnightly basis. And when we do get to bigger countries like the United States and all that, there is so much of a change of cuisine from spot to spot to spot to spot to spot that we can probably do more than one cooking on the fly in big countries like that. Oh, now Drew. I don't know what to say to Drew. He's donated so much money to this channel. I'm speechless. And Garwin as well. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. He said thank you. The support is above and beyond anything I could imagine. Alright. More donations. Guys, I don't know what to say. I literally don't know what to say. You are the most amazing bunch of people on the internet. It is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. And the fact that I've got nearly 30 viewers. Oh. I've got 30 minutes. Thank you so much. Bye. I'm going to miss my airport here, this first airport here, just from you guys donating. Yeah, no, I don't know why it doesn't appear in the stream, Drew, but it appears on my Streamlabs, which is on that screen. So I can see that Darwin has donated Kicking It for the food. Yeah, I can see your one, Drew. I'll have to scroll down to see the other ones. But guys, I literally don't know what to say. Right? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's finish cooking. Alright, so pieces of meat go on. They are nicely rested because there is juices all in the bottom of this bowl. Damn, that's a meat feast. And then, take the chimichurri and you make a nice layer. Don't be scared to put the chimichurri down and sort of move it around over the steak like we did with the mayo and the bread. I'm going to put a decent amount of chimichurri because I obviously like the chili it provides. Then, going to put my pieces of ham on top of that. So, then I'm going to place my chips. Like that. And then I'm going to take the cheese. Brett, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I really, really want the messages and stuff to show up. So if there's a way that we can do that, please let's sit down and do it. Because hey, thank you, Jesse. Jesse Thunderfist in the chat. He is one of my chefs, one of the chefs, should I say, from my job. Big from the minute he found out I streamed. Been a huge support. Let's see if we can do this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Argentinian Lumito. Except I haven't added the eggs. Fuck. Excuse me. Distractions. Too many donations, too many amazing supporting people. That's what I'll blame it on anyway. Even though I forgot the onions without the distractions earlier. There we go. Alright. So that is done ski. I'm going to move over fast and as delicately as possible. I can get past this green string, which is not very fast or delicate. I'll come back to you in a minute, Blanca, right? 2 seconds. Right. That's the airport. Fuck me. $100 fucking dollars. The reason I said I'd come back to you, Black Evo, is because I don't actually know what to say. And I don't want to say too much because that's insane. And I don't want to ramble on either, if that makes sense. But that's... Black Evo, you're a legend. Thank you so much, bro. Huge supporter of the streams. And that's just mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. Thank you. Legendary shit. Thank you so much. I'm going to reduce the size of the webcam here now as well. Back to something a bit more. I know you guys donate to support me, but like, Drew, I don't know Ramble On good enough, but I do owe you a bit of karaoke, so we'll sort that out on the second leg, okay, Drew? Black Eve, I'll, yeah. Drew made me speechless with $30. Black Evo's just made my brain not function anymore. Not that it ever really functioned properly, but yeah. Let's get this aircraft down on the ground, hey? Mainly because I want to eat that sandwich as well. And Shane, no worries, mate. Thank you so much for coming along and watching along. Much appreciated. Whoa! What the hell was that, Streamlabs? That was interesting. Alright, let's slow it right down. But yeah, Shane, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, mate. Look after yourself. Stay safe, stay well. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And thank you very much for the kind words there as well, Shane. God, I am very high on approach here. Very high on approach. Yeah, no drugs, just my aircraft is high. My aircraft's on drugs, basically. I feel like I'm on drugs after this stream, through the feeling of euphoria. There we go. Managed to get it down without crashing. A little bit off center line, but probably not the worst landing I've ever done. Alright, so what we'll basically do is I'll come into the terminal and I will go to intermission. I will do some quick housekeeping, set up my new flight plan, sort out the mess, obviously put food that needs to be stored in its correct locations like fridges and all that away. Make sure that the deep fryer and barbecue gas and all that is fully off. But, yeah. Yes, the bot does not show the right donation amount because for some reason my PayPal is stuck in US dollars and no matter what I do, it won't let me change it. I don't know if that's just a feature of my particular PayPal account, but, yeah. So I will go into my PayPal as well whilst I'm taking a quick break to do a cleanup, and I will just make sure that I haven't missed something that's blatantly obvious. So I reckon it'll be probably about 10 minutes or so that we're on the ground here in Mar De Plata. Yeah. No, that's cool. Blackadder. Alright. I shall return.
instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos quemaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a ahorrar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita, ella también quiere que seamos felices, ella la que se apresura a la vueltica, ella es sin timidez, como la ves no le importa dónde y cuándo, que nada no es, yo no soy el que la mando, nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar. olvidar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé. Independiente, vamos lento y verás. Y me encanta, yo lo sé. Independiente, vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela. Y vamos los 7 días de la semana, te doy de mañana. Mi consejo sabes que no es, te doy el desquite, que me quites todas esas ganas que te tengo muerto. Todo el mundo sabe que tú y yo somos más que panas, pero nos vamos lento, que el que se apura no llega a nada, no llega a nada, nada. Y me encanta, yo lo sé. Independiente, vamos lento y verás. Y me encanta, yo lo sé. Independiente, vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela.
habitación. Ya no quiero nada, ya no quiero esta relación, yeah. Ni romperte el corazón, yeah, yeah. Refrescame la mente para recordarte, bebé. Baby, el que se enamora pierde, por eso ya te olvidé. Y digo que te amo, no es verdad. El calentón me pone mal. Sabes que no estoy para jugar a la pareja idea. Se me va a hacer show acá, debajo la sábana. Me gusta que te dejes llevar. No quiero más que placer, no, no, no. Que nos llevamos muy bien, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tengo ganas de quitarte las ganas que se te van. Tú encima de mí, juro que eso voy a recordar. Para recordarte, bebé. Baby, el que se enamora pierde, por eso ya te olvidé. Y digo que te amo, no es verdad. El calentón me pone mal. Sabes que no estoy para jugar a la pareja idea. Vamos a poner el ambiente, que ya pasaron las 12. Solo amigos con derechos para no podernos vivirnos el goce. ¿Sabes cómo resumirme? Yeah, yeah. Como la chica fantasma, baby. No quiero nada, solo tú en mi habitación. Ya no quiero nada, ya no quiero esta relación, yeah. Ni romperte el corazón, yeah, yeah. Refrescame la mente para recordarte, bebé. Baby, el que se enamora pierde, por eso ya te olvidé. Y digo que te amo, no es verdad. El calentón me pone mal. Sabes que no estoy para jugar a la pareja idea.
Ella lo sabe.
Cogiendo el filé, le gusta la verde, le gusta entonar. Aquí estamos chile, yeah. Party, 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 nos ponemos farria. Nos encanta el perreo, yeah, yeah. Habla mucho, mucho, pero ¿dónde están los haters, baby? Que no los veo. Los dos en la pista, esto se puso feo, yeah, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Pejo, le gusta lo malo, los underground, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Suri no queda el que sea en primer round, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Pejo, le gusta lo malo, los underground, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Siempre estamos a la altura, pero perreamos ambientado.
Vamos a pecar con perreo, baby. Te veo con un flow criminal. Aquí en el party se siente como el ambiente nos lleva a otro lugar. Yeah. Con perreo sin dona, toda mujer también en la zona. Solo cuando pone freaky, 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 freaky dona. Anda como loca porque se emociona.
Yo seguro que todos esos shots se pusieron a fluir, yeah. Baila cerquita pa'lante y pa' atrás, si quieres encima de mí, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. La jeva le gusta lo malo, los underground, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Suri no queda el que sea en primer round, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. La jeva le gusta lo malo, los underground, yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Siempre estamos a la altura, pero perreamos bien down.
Y baila toda reggaetones y se saben mis canciones como si fuera oraciones en la misa. Tiene carácter de guerrera como Tony Caera, pero conmigo ya está bien sumisa. No es mala mía, si anda sudando, tú pasas todo el día conmigo aquí gozando y tra. Y no es para tanto, esto es una prueba que apenas estoy empezando.
Me aseguro que todos esos shots se pusieron a fluir, yeah. Baila cerquita pa'lante y pa' atrás, si quiere encima de mí, yeah. Duro, pam, pam. A ella le gusta lo malo, lo underground, yeah. Duro, pam, pam. Suri no queda al que sea en primer round. Duro, pam, pam. A ella le gusta lo malo, lo underground, yeah. Duro, pam, pam. Siempre estamos a la altura, pero perreamos cogiendo el filé, yeah. Le gusta la verde, le gusta entonar, aquí estamos chile, yeah. Party, nos ponemos farria, nos encanta el perreo, yeah. Habla mucho, pero ¿dónde están los haters, baby, que no los veo? Los dos en la pista, esto se puso feo, yeah. Duro, pam, pam. A ella le gusta lo malo, lo underground, yeah. Duro, pam, pam. Suri no queda al que sea en primer round, duro, pam, pam. A ella le gusta lo malo, lo underground, yeah. Duro, pam, pam. Siempre estamos a la altura, pero perreamos bien down. Sé que no soy un santo, soy lo opuesto a la perfección, yeah. Pero lucho por mejorarme, yeah. Y lo hago con el corazón.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. We are now back. The dishes have done, everything is clean behind me, and I have food to eat. Just have a quick look at what I missed in the chat whilst I wasn't here. Brett left, mate. I know you're no longer here, Brett, but catch you later, bro. Look after yourself. Wes is singing. Drew and Garwin and Wes and Fozzie are all talking about food and cooking on the fly, and tonight has excited me quite a lot about the potential for this to, you know. And Fozzie with the donation as well, mate. Fozzie, thank you so much for that, and to everyone who has donated tonight, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. It means so much, and to be able to finally have done something in life for myself as opposed to just working for others and just ticking along, having that sense of, you know, outside of work and out, you know, something else that I can sort of call, you know, this is the hard work paying off. When you guys donate and stuff like that, it just sort of makes, you know, reminds me that keep going, keep doing it, you know. So thank you. Anyway, let's quickly have a look on little nav map to see what the weather's doing. The weather is doing just 2 knots of crosswind at 284. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter which runway we take off on, but we should probably take off on 31. So we will do exactly that. Let's taxi out to 31 and get this show on the road. Because, apologies to the Australians, but this leg is at least another hour and a half. So it's going to be a late bedtime tonight for the Aussies. I can't wait to get off the ground, because once we get off the ground, I can finally wrap my mouth around that crazy sandwich. Only Argentina and South America could come up with a sandwich like this. What are we going to put between bread? I know, let's put meat and cheese and chimichurri and eggs and chips, and we'll call it a sandwich. I love South American food for that reason, especially South American barbecue style food. Oh, Drew. Yeah, definitely. It's the same Stefan Fossmark. Absolutely. Once I finish the sandwich as well, Drew, I think I owe you some karaoke, so I'll give you some chorus from a certain song by the Divinals that you requested a while ago, and that I actually wanted to do in my last stream, but we were waiting for you to turn up. I'm pretty sure I'm breaking taxi speed regulations right now. And I don't care. Yeah, sorry. I knew that Stephen as well, and I just pronounced it wrong. So apologies, Stephen. So when I get out here on the runway, I'm just gonna gun it. No, that was not about live singing, Drew. That was about singing and doing the river dance at the same time. I have no problem with live singing. I just didn't want to go completely outside my comfort zone. Yeah, well, it's okay, Bruton, because there's only 3 knots of wind, so it doesn't really... Like, I know it matters, but it doesn't really matter. Because 3 knots of wind is not going to do anything, even to a small aircraft like this. My only reasoning behind not dancing and singing live on stream, Drew, at the same time is because if somebody was to TikTok that and then it went viral, I'd be going viral for the wrong reasons. You know, if this channel's going viral, I want it to go viral for cooking on the fly and the amazing community of you guys that watch and your stories and all that. I don't want it to go viral for my... me doing something stupid, you know, for laughs. That was my thought process behind not wanting to do both on a stream. But I will definitely give you a chorus of the Divinals, because the only thing that's going to cause is the bleeding of the ears for you guys. God, Wes just fucked off, didn't he? Straight up, like a rocket ship. Alright, how the hell am I even going to eat this sandwich? Oh, damn. Sorry, you're gonna have to watch me eat on stream. Roger that, Sean. I'll give you a wide berth, not a problem. And, no worries, Fozzie, mate. Thank you so much for coming along. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the donation. You're an absolute legend. And I will probably see you tomorrow in Shane's stream, mate. But have a good rest. No worries, Garwin. That's very frustrating, but it is what it is. It's bloody good, Black Evo. Massive. I don't see myself finishing this at 1 o'clock in the morning. But goddamn, that is so good. The South Americans really know how to do food. Also, Black Evo, I know I didn't say anything at the time, but I did see your comment about recipes from these cooking on the fly. I think that's a very, very good idea and something that I will start working on. So thank you for that. No worries, David. You look after yourself, mate. Hopefully it's not like fully serious issue, if you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, look after yourself, Dave. I hope you're all good, and I'll chat to you at some point on Discord. Very, very nice scenery out here over Argentina. Yum. I'm hoping that my eating noises are not coming through the microphone. Let me know if they are, because I'll Oh, really, Blackadder? Brazil will be a world update. To be fair though, it really needs it. And also, Blackadder, we are going back to the other part of Brazil later on. Cool. I'm glad there's no ASMR coming through. Go on, that is interesting. Very interesting. I wonder... I mean, we know that they always screw things up with the patches when they're trying to fix the things they screwed up with the updates. better tea plantations. Yeah. Kangaroo, mate. Thank you so much for coming along and flying. Much appreciated, mate. You look after yourself, you stay safe, stay well. Don't do anyone I wouldn't do. And I will catch you in an upcoming stream, mate. Much appreciated. It's always the way, Tim. It is always the way. Speaking of which, this brings me to a streamers on the rise. I would like to take this time to promote a good friend of the channel and someone who's just started to embark on his own not world tour, but long length series tour within Microsoft Flight Simulator in the DC6, and that is good friend of the channel, Leaded Rapier 709. I will drop his channel here in the chat if it works. Come on. Follow the bot. There we go. So basically, he's just started a tour in the DC6, doing the Pacific Rim, called the Ring of Fire tour. The first leg that they did was from Hobart to Milford Sound. But yeah, I know all of you enjoy Flight Sim, and that's something a bit different, you know, flying the Pacific Rim in a DC6. Please, go subscribe to him. Fly along with him. He's doing extremely well. I'm very impressed with his streaming. He's already managed to secure himself 40-something subs, and his content is A+. Very, very good content. So, yeah. I know you probably can't answer because you're in VR, but I can only imagine that these ground textures with the circular farmland and all that and the different colours probably looks quite phenomenal from the helicopter in VR. There you go, leg 2 Monday night, 8 PM GMT plus 10, so that is 1000 or 1000 Zulu or 10 AM Zulu, or however you want to look at it. And he's doing New Zealand South Island. Rudin says, yeah, follow Leaded Rapier. He'll need someone to pluck him out of the trees after he eats all the passengers. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Too much time in VR, Bruden. It has desensitized you. Tony, mate. You look after yourself, bro. Thank you so much for your donation. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for coming along and flying. Always very much appreciated as well. And again, thank you so much for your work with the server with Beam. Phenomenal. So, can't thank you enough. And enjoy the rest of your evening, Tony. Ooh, we got some island hopping, and then when you hit Fiji. Interesting. As I keep saying, I need to get myself the DC6 so I can join Wes. David, Ross, mate, thank you so much for coming along as well. Much appreciated. Absolute legend. I hope you enjoyed the stream as much as I enjoyed having you here watching. And you look after yourself, bro. Stay safe, stay well. We need to learn how to drive. Yeah, Tony, I don't think that's ever going to happen. It's alright, Tim, and no offense to Wes on this, but you don't need to be a professional pilot to fly the DC6. Wes knows the ins and outs of the buttons and why things do things and all that, but he hasn't quite nailed the landings yet. In fact, I think Wes will probably agree with me on that one, that he hasn't quite nailed the landings of the DC6 yet. But he's getting better. It's a judgment-free zone, though, his streams, just like mine, you know. You do not need to be a good pilot to be involved. You just need to want to fly. That's cool. That is cool. Very cool, Icarus. It wasn't low, it was truthful. Wes agrees. He's not trying to hide away from the fact that these DC6 landings are rubbish. It adds to the content because you have this bloke who starts the DC6 from scratch, does all the bits and pieces, and then he lands. It's almost like he breaks character at landing time, and it's absolutely hilarious. And as I said, I think it adds wonderfully to the content. Fly a plane like he drives, exactly. And I don't know if anyone's seen Wes in Euro Truck, American Truck, or Beam, but he holds the record for rolling a truck the most times in a stream. I think it was like 4 or 5 in one stream. So, including in that stream, he actually rolled the truck so far that he rolled it onto its side, onto its roof, onto its other side, and back onto its wheels and kept driving. So, exactly, Black Evo. And when Wes gets close to trees in any form of transportation, it always ends in a good laugh. Oh, Glenn, you're flying the Spitfire tonight. I really need to, I know I say this in mostly every stream, but I really need to get some aircraft. like what you guys are flying in these streams, I need to make sure I download those aircraft so I can actually see you in the planes you're in. So if you do have particular planes that you like to fly that I don't have, please do let me know in the Discord. And I mean, thanks to everyone's fantastic generosity, I'm not exactly lacking in money to invest in the channel right now, so yeah, exactly, Wes. And I think it is, as I said, I think it is a fantastic break of character that you go from such professionalism in the DC-6 and absolutely nailing everything, and then you come to landing and it's just like, wow, I did not expect that. So far I need to get a DC-6, I need to get the F-14, and I need to get Spitfire. So yeah, if anybody else has any aircraft that they fly along that I do not have, please let me know, and I will go get it. F-15D, rightio. I'll add that to my list. You're giving me good thumbnails for future streams here, Bruden. Yeah, no, I figured it was the new one, Glenn. Oh, Black Evo, that'll be amazing to have the new VR rig running. Can't wait. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. That'll be awesome, awesome, awesome. If anybody else wants to do a fly past like what Brute and Icarus have been doing, let me know, and I'll grab a screen grab for the Discord, and you'll potentially be used for a thumbnail in the future. So you're more than welcome to do a upside down fly past or whatever. Unfortunately, Bruden, you can't be in every thumbnail. No worries, Wes. I mean, I guess, Bruden, if you get in enough photos doing enough cool shit, you probably can be in every thumbnail, really. And Icarus, if you do another fly past at some point in your aircraft upside down like you did before, I'll make sure I grab a screen grab of that too. Okay, I'll make sure I get the C140 as well, Glenn. Oh, going, it's insane. It is insane. I don't think I've ever had a steak sandwich this good in my life. Oh, I nearly got all four of us in that shot. Doesn't matter that it's gone cold, Drew. It's still absolutely delicious. I'm getting some mint screenshots for thumbnails right now, guys. You guys are absolute legends. The problem with that going is that I am running my engine at the edge of red line. So you're probably not going any faster. I am doing 140 knots across the ground. I must be the only person in Australia eating dinner at 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'm running it very risky, going. I'm not going to lie. I'm taking a risk with how much I'm... That was so fast, Stu, that I didn't even get an opportunity to get the keyboard, my fingers to the keyboard. By the time I saw you, you were basically in the far right-hand corner of my screen. Still has the wheel chocks on it while in flight. Huh? Oh! Are you talking about the widgeon going? Stu is absolutely flying when he buzzes past us. Yeah, I think that's the widgeon going. Are you talking about the boat one? Now, the reason I switched over to the little nav map is because it looks really cool with this group of people all heading directly towards Calling Pigeon, who's on the ground there. Just thought that looked really cool. Back to the live screen. Yeah, the float plane. Yeah, I know. It's got the chocks on the bottom still. It's quite funny. I thought I wasn't going to finish this. I've literally got like 3 or 4 mouthfuls left. It is so good. Can't stop eating it, and I should stop eating it because it's 1:30 in the morning and I shouldn't be eating this much food when I'm going to be in bed in a couple of hours. But I'm sure, Gowan, that, in fact, it wouldn't surprise me if something already exists, maybe freeware. What are you talking about, Wes? Ah. Where's the singing? Okay. I highly recommend, if you didn't cook along tonight, watch the demonstration and cook it. But I will say one thing. Hang on, screwed. Don't be scared to add your own flavours to it. Already, after consuming that, I'm thinking, that would be really nice with some avocado. That'd be really nice with some mushrooms through it. So, Galen says, you need to fly that flight plan I did last night. It was wild, some crazy high mountains. Absolutely. I mean, we're not going to... I'm happy to fly it at any time, and I probably will, but we will definitely fly it when we get to there in these streams as well. That's definitely something that will happen. So, because you were in Nepal and Bhutan, yeah? Himalayas.